Hey guys, gals, and MBs. I'm here today with the Take 5, and I made a video a little while back when I first got this thing, and I still love it. It is actually creeping up on becoming my favorite analog synth. I did say in the Trigon 6 video that the Trigon 6 was my favorite analog synth. I believe the Trigon 6 is still my favorite purely analog synth, at least within that signal path, because this has digital VCAs and analog VCOs and filters and so forth. But yeah, this thing sounds phenomenal. It has an insane mod matrix, which part of the digital side of this, especially the VCAs, really helps with, because you can use the output of the oscillators, for instance, as modulation sources, which is just phenomenally cool. But we'll go over that in other videos. But yeah, I'll be making more videos on the Take 5 besides this one, because I just like it so much. That said, I believe that the TO5, whenever that comes out, is going to be alongside this in my favorite synths. It'll just be a different flavor of the Take 5, basically. I believe now, through looking at it, that the TO5 is going to use the same oscillator section. They'll just be tweaked a little differently in how they perform. And since both the chip in here or chips, I should say, there's 5 of them that handle the oscillator section support through 0FM. It's not set up in a way with the passive components to make that happen on the Take 5. That's why I think they're using the same chips. Just it's going to have different filters, different layout, and different oscillator functionality through the software. So yeah, I'm going to stop talking about that stuff. I want to do an aside that I sent the OB6 back and I sent the Prophet 6 back for build quality issues. I'm just kind of done with them. Trigon is right behind me. That's still staying. This is obviously staying. Build quality is awesome. And I ended up getting a Behringer Pro 800 again because people like those videos. I like the synth. I regretted selling it for a Prophet 6, oddly enough. So yeah, let's get into making some cool shit on the Take 5, I guess. So yeah, as you know, one of the easiest things you can do here is make a basic patch. So I have one of my patches open. But what we can do to make a basic patch, we hold down the down on the transpose and -2 on the lower split, like that. And we get ourselves just a standard sawtooth wave. And we're going to make a pad for the first thing. And then our second patch, we're going to do some kind of FM thing. So yeah, I promised that in my last video on the Take 5. The first thing we're going to do, we'll keep the filter open. We're fine. We're going to turn the oscillators, or at least the primary one, to somewhere where we're going to want to start with it. That'll do. We'll deal with the other oscillators in a second. Actually, let's just bring them in. We're going to do them both like that. We're going to do this. And then we're going to bring the octave down on the second oscillator. And I'm bringing this up here because you can do this on multiple other kinds of synths. I'm kind of giving you a broad spectrum of what you can do. The FM in the next section will be pretty unique to this synth, and hopefully the TO5, it'll be a little different on that, but I should say that you need to be listening to this on full range headphones or on good speakers and things like that with good stereo separation, because we're going to have some fun with that. And we're going to really have some lower end content here, as you can hear now. Let's bring in a little bit of pink noise. Right, and let's shape our envelopes. Let's start with the amp envelope. We don't want it to be too fast or too slow. It's not going to matter. We're only using the amp envelope to get the attack transients off so we don't get any clickiness in the envelope. Something like that. Let's give it a little release. Less noise. It's going to sound a lot better once we start shaping the envelope for the filter. Let's turn the filter all the way down. We are going to hear nothing, and we're going to use the filter envelope now. Let's turn it up to around here for the amount of filter envelope, and let's turn the attack to around here. We're going to slow attack. We're going to have a nice decay envelope. We'll turn the sustain right about there. We're going to have a release, really longish release, so like this, you'll hear it. See, you can hear already that the noise is less aggressive now that we're filtering it out. Now we're just using the noise as a texture. I'm gonna try my best to go over all the reasons why I'm picking this stuff, so you can make an informed decision of how you want to go about making a like a patch, like an ambient patch in this case, or something, so you can get some ideas. Pretty cool so far. We got a basic we got the basic shape. We're going to tweak it a little bit. Let's add some resonance. Let's make the decay a little shorter. We want it to go up, we want it to come down sharply, go to a plateau, and then release once we release the key. So okay, let's make that a little less harsh. So let's take down the amount of the envelope we're using. That sounds already pretty massive, but we still haven't shaped a lot of it yet. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of movement to the oscillators, and we're going to use the shape modulation on here. So something else that's unique on this and some of the other synths out there that are based on, like the Prophet 6, where you have continuously variable waveforms. You have wave shaping on things like the Minilog XD, where you can kind of put that as a modulation destination and get kind of the same feel. Or you could use pulse width modulation, so that's the thing. So hold the destination here on the, we're going to use the polyphonic LFO, and just do this. So you're going to get it set to oscillator 1 shape. You're going to want to come down and move it to the all shape. It's just a quick way to get it started. But yep, so LFO2 is going to the all shape. So we want to go now, the amount here actually controls the amount in the mod matrix. It's going to be pretty fast by default. But that's good. Let's keep it nice and fast so we can see where it's going to hit. We don't want it to be that much. We want it to be like about here. Kind of sounds stupid right now. It's not very melodic and nice and ambient, but we're gonna slow it down. So slow down the frequency. Okay, that's a little dark, isn't it? Actually, we're going to turn it down just a little more, and we're going to add some resonance. So let's add. We're getting there. We really are. So let's turn up the drive. I like, I'm just going to say it. I like the drive all the way up. It's like, yeah, that's boring to say, but it's so aggressive, and it's weird because it becomes aggressive, but it also mellows out the top end when you push the drive on this thing. And as far as I know, the drive is completely digital on this thing because it's pushing the VCAs, which the VCAs on this thing are digital while the VCOs are analog. The filter's analog too. We need a little more resonance, maybe. Adds a little more harmonics, huh? Okay, yeah, not bad. Let's make it a little slower on the attack there. Got a little fiber from my duster on there, so I've been using a kabuki brush, but sometimes it leaves a few fibers here and there, but so do paint brushes, which I don't recommend because they're a little too abrasive to clean things. anyway, back on this. So yeah, I think that's sounding really good. There's a few things we're missing here and there. We can add a little pitch variance on the first or second oscillator. Let's do that at the first. And let's add it a little bit on the vintage knob, since that's a fun thing. That loosens up the envelopes and a little bit of the tuning on the oscillator. So let's hear that. Let's actually no vintage. Oops, I hit that by accident. And then too much vintage. I like it about there. Very, very cool. It's not quite there yet because you still need effects. So let's add some effects to this. Actually, let's do one that's not technically an effect, but kind of is. We're going to go into the mod matrix. We're going to go source. We're going to pick one that we haven't used yet. Let's just go here. So I don't know. We'll go to mod destination 3. And we're going to choose the voice spread option. And then since it's Pride Month, we're going to go ahead and choose the pan function, which should be somewhere. I don't know where it is. Drive. Wait. Okay. Let's find it. Should be panning. Pan. Never mind. Anyway, we're going to turn this all the way up to, well, not all the way up, but we're going to turn it up to 100 so we get a nice spread. Watch this. Now you'll get a stereo spread. That's why I said you need to be listening to this on stereo headphones or speakers. Awesome. We're going to turn the speed down a little bit on the modulation, just a little. Really awesome sounding. All right. So let's add some built-in effects to this thing. We're going to use the BBD delay, which is the default in an init patch. We're going to go ahead and... So I noticed that the pan spread, oddly enough, even if you... It kind of like does its own thing to the effects section too. Maybe I'm just like... because the oscillators are moving too, but it's nice either way. Let's turn up the time. Let's turn up a little bit of feedback, or like a little bit past half. Let's add a little bit more of the envelope there. Let's make it a little brighter, huh? Let's go ahead and turn the transpose up and use the -1 octave split. So we'll have really low here and a bit higher up here, and you'll hear what this sounds like really cool. So what you do is you start with a lower octave to give it that moody atmosphere, just like this. Watch. turn the amount down on the LFO there. It's a little too let's go ahead and add the reverb to this. I don't really like the reverb all that much, but in conjunction with the Bucket Brigade delay, it's not too bad. So let's turn up the decay all the way. Actually, no, we're not going to turn it up all the way. Yeah, we will. And then we'll use some dampening. So dampening, I feels like reverse on this thing. So we'll turn to there, no pre-delay. So let's try that. Adding a little more noise here. I'm gonna bring the vintage down a little bit. All right, well, that was a lot of fun in my opinion. I mean, I think it sounds cool. And yeah, I hope you do too. I hope that kind of helped you out going through my process of how I like to make my pads. At least that was one of my my style of pads that I really like to do, where it's like a moody cinematic dark pad. It's fun. We can All right, enough of that. Let's move on to something FM, which is something really unique for this synth. I mean, I guess there's analog FM things on multiple synths, but this one sounds pretty cool, especially when you use the sync on oscillator 2-to-1, which we're going to use, and we're going to use the FM section, and we'll make it sound quite nice. So let's make an init patch again. Okay, so we want to bring in both oscillators. All right, cool. Let's shape the envelope first. So we're going to make it plucked. So turn this all the way down, turn up release on the amp envelope. Actually, let's hear that. All right, so now we're going to be shaping with the filter envelope. Make sure resonance is down. We're going to turn drive up to about halfway on this one because we really want to excite the filter. So we want to turn this up. We want no attack here, obviously. We want some decay. And then release. No sustain on the filter side. We'll shape that a little bit more once we get some FM going. So let's go ahead and sync the oscillators. Bring the second oscillator down to around, let's take it down too. Now you'll hear that if I change the pitch here, it's gonna sound like that hard sync. And we're also gonna turn on FM 2-to-1. See, off. Oop. Let's turn up the octave once. and let's change the decay a little. Changing the envelope amount to make it a little less bright. Changing the amp envelope to have a little more release. All right, cool. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go into the mod matrix. We're already there, but let's just do that. We're going to go, let's exit this out so we can like see what we would do. So you'd be here, you'd go to source on your mod matrix, and we're going to go to mod slot 3 again, since it's empty by default. We're going to change it to note number, which should be, you got to bear with me, note number, oh, I just passed it. Note number, and we're going to add it to pitch of oscillator 1 only. So oscillator 1, but we're going to change it to oscillator 1 octave. I'm going to play a little really quick here, and you'll hear the difference once we start bringing it in. And the higher we play, obviously, that's going to track. So if you go the opposite way, you get a little more, it sounds less nasally. But we want it to sound kind of like a koto or a dulcimer. At least I do. But you can play around. A little more release. All right, we're getting there. So now let's add some pan again, because that's a fun thing to do. We're going to choose voice spread, and then we're going to choose to panning, which is right around here. We're going to change it to about, let's do 80. Turn this up a little. I changed the octave here. Very lovely. And we can have some fun with the shape here. So we're obviously changing the shape of both oscillators here. So if we change this to a square, for instance, change it to where you think it sounds nicest. We can add a little drive on the filter more. We can add a little resonance for a little bit of sparkle, but we kind of get that bassy, cat-like or quacky sound if we do too much C. That's a sound you didn't expect to come out of an analog synth, is it? At least a basic subtractive standard analog synth. Let's add some effects to that. You could add a chorus. The chorus sounds really nice on this one, so let's do the chorus so you can hear that. Can add a little bit of the reverb. Not my favorite reverb. It's sort of passable. It's not great. Dampening, let's turn that all the way up. Let's turn the decay like about there. No pre-decay. There we go. A little bit of low pass here. It's a little less mix. Yeah, so that's pretty cool, isn't it? What else can we... we can add a little vintage to it. Nah, actually don't, because then it makes it sound a little less like what it's supposed to. I mean, we could hear it. Let's... Yeah, no, don't do that. We could add a little bit of shape modulation to the first oscillator. I wouldn't add it to both, so let's do that. Let's choose destination here. We'll do that, and we will go ahead and turn up or turn down the frequency and the amount. Go -2. Oh, there we go. Maybe we'll go ahead and turn that off, and we'll do something a little differently. Instead of LFO2, we will use... Let's go here. Pick an empty mod slot, doesn't matter. We'll use the voice spread. Now we're going to use... Yeah, we're going to use voice spread, right? And we're going to use that towards oscillator 1 shape. So... too much, obviously, but yeah, we can add a little bit of, I guess, yeah. Let's go up and make sure we're not cutting it off. Go down. Yeah, we're good. Just adds a little more subtlety to it, I guess. Really fun. So the other thing, instead of using the reverb and the chorus, we can just use a delay, and that sounds really nice too. We'll use the Bucket Brigade one. Really lovely. Could add a little less of the filter. Oh, that was awful. All right, yeah. just giving you ideas, especially with how cool the FM can be on that. So yeah, I guess that'll close it out for this video today. I mean, I just wanted to have some fun with it, make a cool pad, and potentially make a cool FM patch, which we did. And if you use the oscillator sync as well as the FM, then it syncs very nicely and sounds very FM. I mean, let's see. This is just with oscillator sync, right? Now with FM. And what does it sound like without the sync? No. With both of them, though. Super lovely. So yeah. We had some fun. I hope you did too. And I'll see you guys in an upcoming video on something different. Well, I kind of am jonesing to use the peak again. I hope you guys want to see, or you people, I should say, want to use the peak, see the peak used. So I'll bring the peak out, and we'll do some fun stuff with that. That thing is just, as much as I say this is my favorite analog synth, along with the Trigon, my favorite synth still remains the Novation Peak. So I guess we'll bring that out and have some fun with it. I was playing with the Mini Freak the other day, and I really should make some more videos on the Mini Freak, so let me know if you want to see the Mini Freak as well. And I'm going to start bringing out effects pedals as well. We're going to bring in some effects pedals to some of my synths. We'll bring out the Big Sky MX again and have some fun with that, and maybe I'll build some patches on the Big Sky MX. Maybe my next Pro 800 video will be the Big Sky MX plus the Pro 800, and making some patches on the Pro 800 making some patches on the Big Sky MX, because I didn't really go over how I make those kind of patches on that. I went over like a brief overview. But yeah, that said, thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed already and you like my content, why not subscribe if you haven't? And give me a thumbs up if you like this kind of content. And I'll see you next time.